Sam. Welcome back to Syncounting Tax Academy. This is the place where we learn how taxes work, one step at a time, without fear, confusion, or scary surprises. Last time, we talked about what happens when the IRS officially writes something down. Today, we're learning about something that sounds serious, but doesn't have to be scary at all. Today's lesson is called When the IRS Has Questions. Sometimes, the IRS just wants to understand something better, and asking questions is how learning happens. Sam, what does it mean when the IRS sends a letter asking for more information? Sam, that's a great question, Samai. When the IRS sends a letter like that, it's usually called an examination. Samai, an examination? Like a test? Sam, not exactly. It's not about passing or failing. It just means the IRS wants to review something on a tax return to make sure it's clear and accurate. Samai, but letters from the IRS sound scary. Does that mean someone did something wrong? Sam, not necessarily. Most of the time, it doesn't mean anything bad at all. It just means the IRS has a question and wants more information. Samai, so people aren't in trouble right away? Sam, no. An examination is a question, not an accusation. Leighton, you know, Samai, questions happen in everyday life too. Samai, like when teachers ask questions in class? Leighton, exactly. If a teacher sees an answer and wants to understand how you got it, they might ask you to explain. Samai, that doesn't mean the answer is wrong. Leighton, right. It just means they want to see the work behind it. Sam, the IRS works the same way. They receive millions of tax returns. Sometimes something stands out and they ask for more details. Samai, so it's about understanding, not blaming? Leighton, that's exactly right. Leighton, an examination is like a careful review. The IRS looks at specific parts of a tax return to see if everything matches the records. Samai, like checking math homework? Leighton, yes. If the answer says 10, the teacher might check to see how you added the numbers. Sam, the IRS isn't trying to surprise anyone. They just want the numbers and information to make sense. Samai, so accuracy matters? Leighton, very much. Clear and accurate information helps everyone. Samai, do they look at everything on a tax return? Leighton, usually no. Most examinations focus on just a few things. Sam, they might ask about income, like money earned. Leighton, or expenses, like money spent for work or business. Sam, sometimes they ask about credits, which help lower taxes. Samai, so they don't open the whole book, just one page? Leighton, that's a perfect way to think about it. Sam, that's why good records are so important. Receipts, notes, and documents help tell the full story. Samai, records are like proof? Sam, yes. They show where numbers come from and why they're there. Samai, even if it's not bad, people still feel nervous, right? Sam, of course. Getting a letter can make people worry, especially if they don't understand it. Leighton, but fear usually comes from not knowing what's happening. Sam, that's why learning matters. When people understand the process, fear gets smaller. Samai, so knowledge helps people feel calm? Sam, exactly. Lala, here's something very important to remember. People do not have to talk to the IRS by themselves. Samai, they don't? Lala, no. They can choose someone to help them. Sam, that helper is called a representative. Samai, like having a guide? Lala, yes. A guide who understands the rules and the language. Sam, representation helps make sure communication stays clear and respectful. Samai, what does a representative actually do? Lala, they help explain information. They gather records. They answer questions carefully and correctly. Sam, they also help keep things organized. Samai, so people don't get confused or overwhelmed? Lala, exactly. We help people feel supported instead of scared. Sam. And we make sure the IRS follows the rules too. Samai. So everyone plays fair? Sam. That's the goal. Leighton. Most examinations happen through letters. Sam. Sometimes through phone calls. Lola. And sometimes through meetings, but those are planned ahead of time. Samai. So no surprises? Lola. No surprises. Everything has steps and timelines. Sam. And people are allowed time to respond. Leighton. After the examination, a few things can happen. Lola. Sometimes everything stays the same. Leighton. Sometimes small corrections are made. Lola. And sometimes people disagree, and that's okay. Samai. It's okay to disagree? Sam. Yes. There are rules for what happens next. Leighton. People can ask questions. They can request reviews. They can follow the process. Samai. So an IRS examination isn't the end of the world. Sam. Not at all. Leighton. It's just part of how the system checks itself. Lala. And no one has to face it alone. Sam. Understanding the process turns fear into confidence. Closing. Sam. At Syncounting Tax Academy, we believe learning makes things less scary. Sam. When people understand their rights, their options, and the steps involved, they feel stronger and calmer. Samai. Questions don't always mean trouble. Sam. That's right. They mean someone wants to understand. Narrator. Sam. And when you understand the process, you're never powerless. Questions don't mean trouble. Knowledge means confidence.